pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Jesus. 4.01, public comment on agenda items. Please sign up to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to list the public comment. Although state law does not require us to hold a public comment period, we chose to do this because we believe it is crucial for us to hear from our community members about their concerns and issues. The board is here to listen. The public comment period is not designed to be debate or dialogue. Please do not expect board members to respond to your concerns or questions tonight. We take your concerns and questions seriously and want to have sufficient time to process and research issues if need be. Any question from the public is submitted to the use of the public comment forum, which may be obtained online or at the desk with the district clerk. Let the proper staff member get back to you as appropriate. I also want to point out that under state and federal privacy laws, we are unable to address any comments or questions about specific students or school personnel. We would ask you to go to the appropriate administrative channels. A total of 30 minutes at the beginning of each board meeting set aside to allow for public comment on agenda items only. Public comments at the beginning of the meeting is limited only to the items on the agenda. Persons who wish to participate in the public comment portion of the meeting are asked to provide their name and specific agenda item about which they wish to speak. A sign-up sheet is located at the desk on the desk with the district clerk. Individual comments on agenda items is limited to 3 minutes and are welcomed. If you wish to address items related to a school district that are not on tonight's agenda, another comment period is provided at the end of the meeting for that purpose. A second sign-up sheet is available for non-agenda items. In the interest of civility and respect for different points of view, clapping, booing, or any disturbance or disruption during either public comment period is not permitted. At this time, comments related to agenda items are welcome. Are there any comments, Alberta? None. Seeing none. 4.02, communications and announcements made by Board of Education members. Anybody? Marie?
Yes, I would like to say I was really glad about. Just letting you know.
Very good.
Okay. I want to thank all of our administrators for a great open of school. A lot of the kids and the feedback have been awesome. I got to go see a lot of the buildings. Before school even started, sports kicked off in full force, and I was able to get out to John Jay for one of their football games, and I'm looking forward to this week for Royce Catchum. It's on Thursday, though, because of the holiday on Friday. And I am looking forward to many, many things. I did get to volleyball, and we tried to get to field hockey today, but it was just a little too wet for me. Sorry, guys.
Thank you.
I had the opportunity to meet the new teachers, and Mrs. Johnson did also. And we also went on the building tour. Mrs. Johnson, Mr. McFarland, Mr. Lumia, and Mr. Odoms also went to some of the schools. Mrs. Johnson and Mr. McFarland and myself went through the whole thing, 2 days, and it was you should all feel proud that they've done so much good work on the buildings over the summer. The weather and supply chain shortages and delays made it impossible to do everything that they had hoped to do. But Mr. Brose, they did a wonderful job, and thank you very much.
Cheryl?
Yes, I've had a busy few weeks, but I have been able to make it to a few sporting events. I got to see the John Jay boys soccer team play last week, and the Ketchum boys soccer team play today after their significant rain delay. Also, I saw the district-wide boys volleyball team play their first scrimmage against Arlington. And I want to say, I think we have a really strong new coach who has a lot of experience, who's going to really help us build that program. And I also want to congratulate some of our students. First of all, Braden Kuzma, who is a member of the district-wide boys lacrosse team and a John Jay student, was part of a national championship lacrosse team this summer. And I had the opportunity this weekend to attend the Grinnell Library Gala. And we have a lot of student groups across the district, honor societies, where students are expected to do some type of community service or interact where students frequently volunteer. But I want to give special recognition to the members of Ketchum's Mask and Mime, because they have no requirement to do community service. And they served as waiters at the gala. And I found out in speaking to the students that they have also regularly been donating their time to help our local communities at the Wappingers Falls first Saturdays every month. So I think that's something that should be commended.
Eddie?
So as a lifelong New York Mets fan, I sucked it up and traveled down to Yankee Stadium with Trustee Johnson as the New York Yankees honored and celebrated the Roy C. Ketchum baseball team's New York State Championship the other night. So again, congratulations to the team. Yanks did a great on-field ceremony, which has been put out on social media. Hopefully everybody has a chance to see that. If not, just go to the Roy C. Ketchum homepage just to view it. Spectacular. They gave out rings. They fed them. I think the boys had a great time, even though it was really hot. But as I said, I sucked it up and I went to Yankee Stadium, and I just did it for you guys from RCK. So congratulations again to the team.
Anybody else? Well, I'd like to welcome everybody back. I'd like to thank Mr. Bros and staff for getting the building ready. And I wish everyone a great year. And I hope all the students get a great education and enjoy every school day. And with that being said, committee report on board representatives. John?
Pursuant to Education Law 1708, Section 2, the Wappinger Central School District Board of Education visits every school under its supervision prior to the start of the school year and provides a report on the general conditions at the next regular meeting. The board school visitation is different from the more detailed visual inspections required as part of the staggered 5-year schedule to complete a building conditions survey.
Thank you. With that being said, building tour, Mr. Johnson. Ms. Johnson? Marie, and as well, Mike, you have any comments?
Yes, Mr. McFarland and I did meet up, and we were able to compare our notes, and we were able to compile some stuff. Thank you, Mr. President Lumia and Board of Education. I want to thank Dr. Bonk, Mr. Broas, and Ms. Dainty for taking time to go with us on our tours. Each year, the Board of Education is tasked with touring all the buildings of the district. We have 15 schools that make up Wappinger Central School District. Thank you to Mr. McFarland and Ms. Kellen, who were able to make it to all the buildings with myself. Several others were able to make some of the buildings. Mr. Odoms and Trustee Miggins also were able to go. And Mr. Lumia made to most of the buildings. He did have a few engagements that he had to take part in. Rotary Club. I'm going to run through them as we toured them. Sheaf Road, thank you to Principal Moss for stepping up to help us this year. Also a huge thank you to Joe Thompson, the head custodian, to help with our visit. We have a lot of work slated for next summer in this building from the capital project approved last year. Oak Grove Elementary School, thank you Principal Rooney and the head custodian Mark Morey for showing us around. This summer, they were able to finally get that new parking lot and fix some of the sidewalks and took down that metal awning entrance. Vassar Road Elementary, I want to thank Principal Dominic and head custodian Jason Ammons. We had several other items slated for next summer from the current capital project. Kinry Road Elementary, thank you to Principal Gearson and head custodian Chris Manes I think I said that right, showed us around, and we have a couple of new in-house projects that we will see if they can be added to the list from funds we are utilizing from our fund balance. Myers Corner Elementary Principal Goldstein and Head Custodian Dennis Mattis showed us some of the new spaces they were able to create this year. This building was used for our ESY summer program for about 6 weeks. So that means the facilities and operations group only had maybe 2 weeks to do the deep clean in parts of this building. This is a very large building and was no small task, so thank you very much. Fishkill Plains Elementary Principal Fazio and Head Custodian Ray Storms, thank you. The school has had so much going on all summer. We completed new floors, new sinks, cabinets, and classrooms. This is no small feat as the counters and cabinets just came in the week, I believe it was the week before school was slated to start. We have more work set for next summer as well. Gayhead Elementary Principal Daly, Assistant Principal Morales, and Head Custodian Juan Yurig, thank you for taking the time to show us around your school. We have a few small projects that we would like to add to our list for in-house work if possible. Brinkerhoff Elementary had Principal Cooper and Head Custodian Chris Van Buren giving us a tour. The entry awning was removed, and there's a few things that they're going to continue to work on. Fishkill Elementary had Principal McNally and Head Custodian Aaron Lassiter showing us around the school. Next summer is going to be very busy one for this school with several projects scheduled. A few things will be sent back to the Capital Committee to try and get on the list if funds are available. Some of the floors and stuff for rooms. Evans Elementary had Principal Hernandez waiting for us, and thank you to her head custodian, Mike Robb. This building has had major work done over the last several projects, and without a doubt is not the building that I remember from years ago. We have much smaller list than 10 years ago of work on the wish list. On Thursday, we started the day with Principal Sipe and his entire administrative team of assistant principals, Mr. Lopez, Ms. Ferris, Mr. Farron, along with the assistant director, Ms. Martinez, and head custodian, Rob Duchette, waiting for us. They knew Mr. Lumia was coming and had coffee and donuts to start our day. This past summer, the track around the turf field was resurfaced, floors were stripped and done, and let us not forget that we had students enrolled in all sorts of summer programs and sports. This building was in full use and facilities and operations worked around everything. It was a huge feat, and we have a few projects slated for next summer. We are upgrading the sound system for the turf field area, but we are still waiting on some equipment. When it is done, I'm sure Mr. Sloshower and the Capital Committee will be giving us updates. Wappingers Junior High School, Principal Thompson and Head Custodian Elijah Cook welcomed us. This school, well, I almost don't want to tell you because it's going to be a big surprise when we finally get to go back there. The massive transformation starts just pulling into the parking lot. There's no more craters, which is one of the nicest things ever. If anyone comes to the board meetings over the years, you know that was definitely long overdue. Sidewalks on the front of the building, no more crumbling, which is very nice. Railings above outside the doors were sanded and painted. Some outside door areas are being repointed and painted. The main entrance, well, let's just say you'll see it when you get in there. You're going to love it. It's a totally different entryway. Principal Thompson picked some really amazing colors, and two of our new facilities and operation guys fixed the ceiling, painted the whole area. The display case in brass, and Ron Stevens got that thing all shined up, and new glass shelves with LED lighting. New extra light fixtures and new glass in the old fixtures. Just no words. About 30 minutes after Orchard View had their graduation, they were in there tearing out the old seats. Remember, those seats were the original ones that had been resurfaced a few times from 1939. Yes, they have been recovered. The crew spent weeks filling in the holes and fixing lights in the balcony. Again, wait till you see the paint job that was done. It's not even the same auditorium. I feel like these two areas are so much bigger, and you're going to see it. However, we are not able to go back there for our meetings for a while, as the seats were ordered way before school let out, but are still being on back order, so hopefully they'll be coming in sooner than later. This is just one of many things on supply chain issues that Mr. Broas and his entire team has had to deal with this entire summer. The Board of Education has a room that we use during meetings, and it is also a classroom and meeting space, and that room has been having an overhaul from the 1970s paneling, which is so gonna look nice when we get in there. The cafeteria has a new area created just for the students and a cafe study area. We still have a few more projects next summer and some smaller ones that might be done on breaks. District Office and Orchard View High School Principal Di Stefano met with us. Thank you to Head Custodian Kelly Leisler, who takes care of this building. This building was scheduled for a roof this summer. However, with the extremely wet summer we had, the roof at John Jay took much longer to do, and I believe that's going to be coming up shortly. John Jay High School welcomed us with Principal Ketzelawa, Assistant Principals Mr. Albanese, Mr. Poner, Ms. Cotto, and Ms. Chapin. Thank you to the newly appointed Dino Diaz, and congratulations on retirement to Brett Parker as of August 31st. This is just another building that many of the staff worked all summer, and with a touchy scheduling at times for some practices at this school, had a new roof done. This was a huge undertaking, and with the rain over the summer, it put some major stress on some timelines. Also, facilities and operations contracted a pad at the baseball field to define a home side by dugout. They had to also make a walking path on that side as well. The track around the turf field was resurfaced here as well. The pads of the new stadium seating were poured last week. I believe, actually, no, 2 weeks ago. And we'll have updates next month on the completion timeline for that, along with the turf field sound system upgrades being done. The town was doing some work on top of Patriot Way, so the new fences are being worked on this week. There's also some more projects to be done this summer as well. Van Wyck Junior High School new principal Castro, assistant principal Mr. Sienna, and head custodian Dominic Vicarelli showed us their building. We have a large project scheduled to start next summer. Mr. Castro wanted to give a shout out to Mr. Lestier, who made all the name signs for his school within the building. Dr. Bonk has stated that he is committed to restoring the infrastructure of our district, and I want to thank him. I have increased my wish list.
Thank you.
I've increased my wish list along with Mr. McFarland. So that will go to the Capital and Board to add if we have any leftover monies. Thank you to Mr. Broas and his entire staff that worked hard to get our buildings ready for the students. During crunch time, the administrators, the custodians, and more took time out to speak with us and show us around the whole district. Ms. Kellen and I were also very lucky to have bus driver Kelly Broadbeck take us around. She was a wonderful lady. And she took great care of us and gave us a chance to make notes in between buildings, and we had a wonderful conversation and lucky to have her. And that's my report.
Mr. Morgan?
I just have a question, given our requirement on the general conditions. Thank you for all the detail. Is it the opinion of the people that attended the tour, Ms. Johnson, Mr. McFarland, that the general conditions of all of the schools are satisfactory to open schools?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, it was.
With that being said, Eddie, capital improvement?
Thank you, President Lumia. To start school, we have not yet had our first meeting since the meeting was scheduled for the same day as the first day of school. So we had postponed that for this week. So the committee will be meeting this week. Trustee Johnson did cover a lot of things that are going on with capital projects and some infrastructure work that we were doing in-house, which was our summer projects list. I will have more detailed, specific information for the community and for the board at our October meeting, as the committee is meeting this week, and we'll be able to figure out exactly where we are with projects, what still needs to be done. Unfortunately, as Trustee Johnson explained, we probably lost at least a minimum of 3 weeks out of a 10-week, 10 weeks over the summer to get an enormous amount of work done. Unfortunately, some of these projects are running into the school year. We have no control over the weather. But as I said, I'll have more detailed information to share with everybody in October after we meet this week with the committee and our architect. Thanks.
Thank you, Eddie. With that, 5.01 Superintendent Report, Dr. Bunk.
Thank you very much, President Lumia. As was stated by members of our board, there is much thanks to go around to all those who worked very, very tirelessly this summer. They've all been mentioned, but I would like to make special mention of the district senior staff administration. That consists of the individuals who are sitting to my right and sitting to my left. Their responsibilities are great. They cover a vast majority of areas. And they oversee our district and our 15 school buildings. So I think they deserve a lot of thanks for all of their efforts this summer. So I'd like to thank them personally. Thank you. It was a pleasure to welcome our 10,400 students back to school this past Wednesday. I want to thank all of our staff for their many efforts to ensure a most successful first day of school. As I visited all of our 15 schools last Wednesday, I was most impressed with the professionalism displayed by our staff to create a supportive and welcoming environment for all of our students. It was evident that the students were excited to be back based on their comments, waves, smiles, and high fives. I also want to thank all of our families for their patience. We realize that the first week of school has its share of challenges, and I want to thank you for your collaboration and working with us together. As far as the buildings are concerned, as was stated, much work has been done, much more work needs to be done. We are committed to doing that work along with the support of our community. Our students and our staff deserve it. I'm also very proud to announce that Mrs. Bridget Lander, school psychologist at Brincroft Elementary School, was selected by the Mid-Hudson School Study Council to receive their prestigious 2023 Award for Excellence for Pupil Personnel Services. Mrs. Lander is here this evening. She will formally be recognized for her dedication to her profession. The letter and certificate from myself and the Board of Education this evening. Mrs. Land, can you please come up? Thank you. There you are. Board, come on in. Board, come on in.
Scooching. I gotta get better at my scooching skills.
That's all good. Mrs. Lander, well deserved. Thank you for representing Wappingers and Brinkerhoff Elementary School so well. We're very proud of you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Any more comments, Dr. Bunk?
And that, President Lumia, concludes my report.
Thank God. Consent agenda, 6.01, consent items. Does anybody want to move anyone from the consent agenda? 80?
6.06, please.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the following consent agenda items as stated: 6.02, 6.03, 6.04, 6.05, and 6.07.
Motion, Marie, second. Keith, all in favor? Unanimous. 6.06.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the following consent agenda item as stated: 6.06.
Motion, Marie, second. Peggy, discussion? Eddie?
Just a quick note, Ms. Pedro, on the written attachment to the contract for the math enrichment. It has a date of a 2-year contract to 2025, and I believe it should be 2024 to coincide, at least on the version that I saw this afternoon. If that could just, obviously just get corrected, it's probably just a typo.
Second, please. It does have.
Okay. Thank you.
No, on the agenda, on the actual contract.
Okay, the actual contract. Okay.
Contract, so I just wanted it to match
Trustee
up.
Sloshower, since they're both math enrichments, or are you talking about item number one or item number two?
I'm sorry, there's two, the math enrichment, then there's the separate agreement with Dr. Miller, which was for 1 year. The math enrichment that I noticed had 2025
Okay.
for the first contract,
Math and physics.
math and physics, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Probably just a typo, but just to be consistent.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Eight, 8.01, 7.01, approval of revised board meeting calendar.
Whereas the superintendent of schools will be providing a presentation on Monday, October 2nd, 2023, at the New York State Council of School Superintendents 2023 Fall Leadership Summit in Saratoga Springs, and will not be available to attend the board meeting on October 2nd, 2023. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve a revision to the 2023-2024 board meeting calendar to change the board meeting date of Monday, October 2nd to Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023.
Motion Marie, second Mike. Any discussion? First, I'd like to congratulate Dr. Bunk for being a presenter at this prestigious place, so congratulations, Dr. Bunk.
Thank you. My pleasure, and I would like to thank the board for their support of this. I would not be asking for this if it just required my attendance, but since I will be presenting, I would certainly like to present some of the great things that we're doing, especially in the areas of civic readiness, to colleagues of mine from New York State, as well as other educational officials and members of parents and community groups. So I thank you for your consideration of this.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay. 8.01, board members may request addition to the agenda. Any additions? Seeing none. 9.01, comments from the public. Any comments from the public? No. Seeing none, let's make a motion to adjourn.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby adjourn the September 11th, 2023 Board of Education meeting. The time is 8:04 p.m.
Motion Marie, second Peggy. All those in favor? Unanimous. Enjoy the football game.